Hello and welcome. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. I'd like to thank our sponsors at Procyon Partners. Procyon, one of the top 50 fastest growing companies in the nation. They specialize in employee benefits, wealth management, and retirement planning. President Sean Rabinowitz, proud supporter of our podcast network and everything we do. Green Street Trust International, owned and operated by Rennell Jump and UConn legendary men's basketball player Jake Voskuhl. They specialize in tax plans for businesses large or small. They will save you money or get you a big fat return on your taxes. To schedule your free strategic tax planning session today, go to www.greenstreettrust.com. Pete Finch and the Finch Law Firm is located in Bridgeport, Connecticut. If you've suffered any type of personal injury, slip and fall, car accident, your mother-in-law ran you over with her car, your wife got angry one night and decided to stab you, the Finch Firm is for you. Pete has won legal battles all across the state of Connecticut. He will go to war to get every dollar you deserve in compensation. You just have to remember, in a pinch, call Finch or go to his website, thefinchfirm.com. Dynamic Human Performance is owned and operated by UConn legendary running back Andre Dixon. He trains boys and girls of all ages, all sports. He has a boot camp program 7 days a week, 6 a.m. You want to get in shape, you go to Andre. He has an athletic development program where he trains boys and girls in the sport of their choice from the ground up, helps them reach their full potential, be the best they can possibly be. Andre has sent boys and girls to college on scholarship for all different types of sports. To work with the best, he has a 5,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility in Hartford, Connecticut. Go to www.dynamichumanperformance.com. All right, and here we are for a special edition of the Trench Mob Show on this lovely 4th of July weekend. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully, and with me is always the leader and CEO of the Trench Mob, Julius Williams. Julius.
Super.
And next to him, who I am not going to ignore this week, one of the finest members of his staff, probably the best offensive line coach in the state of Georgia, Jordan Harris.
How you doing, Kelly? What's going on?
Yeah. And we have also the wise sage, as I like to say, the Gandalf of the Trench Mob, Anthony Smith, Coach Anthony Smith. He had a cup of coffee in the NFL, so we like to bring him up every now and then. But he always has just the best advice. Coach Smith, great to see you.
My guy, Cully.
And I have no words. A very, very special guest, the current head coach at Heritage High School in Georgia. He is a former NFL quarterback for the America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. And he gave me a lot of sleepless nights. Mr. Coach Quincy Carter. Coach,
hey,
thank you for being
here. Thank you for having me too.
Yes. So you have been at Heritage High School, and it obviously has taken time, but you have been successful. I mean, you have taken the program, taken it to new heights. And, what has been your philosophy, coming in there, taking over and really connecting with the kids on a different level?
I personally feel like, starting a new program, it's all about the culture that you start to set. And the culture I've started to set is, based on discipline, based on character, based on hard work, and then, having a faith-based program where our kids believe in something outside of themselves. I ask every kid, is it God that you believe in? And with that answer, with that question, sorry as I'm adjusting my bootleg studio here, but with that answer, or with that question, I'm sorry, I get yes if they believe in God or not. But I respect anybody's religion coming in, but we all know at the right age of 48 now, and
Oh, we can
some
lie on
things.
the show. You look like you're 41.
Oh, shoot! Don't make me blush.
Sorry. No, I didn't mean to
Yeah,
interrupt you. Go ahead.
I look like I'm 41 until I'm standing next to Julius and Ant, and then they'll make you feel like an old man looking because they still looking like they can play a
They
few
give you a
more
couple
series
snaps.
right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
He
But
gets
but
you.
I ask all of my kids, what is it that they believe in? Because we all know at this age, man, you've got to believe in something outside yourself. So that's what I base my program off of: discipline, character, hard work, and then also having a faith-based young man that understands, what's more important than anything he'll ever do in his life, and that's having that belief. So that's what I base it off of.
Das Lasher, thank you for pointing out that I am blushing. Yes, I am blushing, and I am sunburned. But, Coach, Julius has a lot of those same values and faith-based, and believing in God and the religion part of it. It's such a huge piece of your life, and when you have that belief with you, when you have that faith, have you seen kids that may not have had it to begin with, but being with you, they were able to, see the light or turn things around?
Absolutely, and that's the beauty of it. I've had one linebacker that's not going to be playing with us this year, and decided that that God had spoke to him, and that he wants to do other things in his life, and go ahead and start, getting some more college credits and going to our what we call our Rockdale Institute College of Technology, and
Yeah.
wants to advance, his academics right now in high school, and said God led him to do that. And the only thing I could, really just do is just smile. I've had a few kids who've been knuckleheads, and we've had some really deep conversations about God leading them, about God, helping them make decisions on a daily basis. Because I start my guys off who don't even have a relationship with God. And I tell them, you can have as simple as prayer as, God, just help me with every decision I'm going to make today. God, just help me with these next hour of me concentrating on what I need to be concentrating on. And it could be a prayer just that simple. So, yes, I have seen the results of making sure my kids understand, that having a relationship with God is going to be the most important thing you do ever
Yeah,
in your life.
it really is. And I didn't want to make this a faith-based religion thing podcast, but I wanted to ask myself, because
Let's talk about it.
I was in a bit of a crisis of faith a few years ago, and I was told to pray on it. And I was raised Catholic, and praying to me is you saying Our Father, you say a Hail Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told no. I said, the pastor said to me, talk to God, like he's there with you. Talk to him directly, and tell him your concerns, tell him your needs, tell him what you're asking for. Pray for that guidance, pray for that light. And is that something that you preach as well? Like, there's no set time for prayer. Like you can pray at any time, and it's about really talking directly to God.
Absolutely. You just hit it right on the head, man. I've been telling this story. I've been telling this story for almost 8 years, and I don't know who actually said it in rehab, though. But someone said in rehab that he talks to God like God is his homeboy. And anything you want to share with God, if you're upset about something with God, I'm upset right now, but give me the faith to believe in you and understand why you may be telling me no right now, why things may not be going my way. But you talk to God like he's your homeboy, though. But you're exactly right. You hit it right on the nail right there.
Well, it wasn't me. It was what the pastor told me. But
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, hey,
I had a similar situation when I was in treatment, and that's kind of what caused the crisis of faith, which led me to a different church with the pastor, and he was the one who advised me about prayer and the way that I had been doing it. He's like, no, you don't. It's not kneeling at night and saying an Our Father, a Hail Mary, and you go to bed. Like you pray throughout the day. You talk to God throughout the day. You build a relationship with him. And
absolutely.
that is, and I didn't know that. I had no idea about that. And Julius, I know you are very big on faith-based and having that mentality with members of the trench mob. Is that similar to how you preach it to your kids?
Well, no, definitely. I mean, God is belief, and if you believe in God, you believe in something much higher than yourself, and you believe that you're a piece of something. And being faith-based is always all right because it's always going to be great because you got something to go to. When there is times of stress, when there is times of trial, tribulation, but as far as our guys, we have people that are Christians and, maybe they follow different types of faith, whoever their God is, but we definitely, push our guys to be led and be character based. That starts with faith to believe for yourself and what you want to portray to everybody else.
Yeah. Coach Smith, I've love to get your thoughts on this as well, because I know you have similar feelings. And again, I'm asking more because it's newer for me, and just hearing Coach bring it up just piqued my interest, and I'm just asking more to learn and get some perspective.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's the source, the everything. It's when you build that relationship and have that relationship with God, it's the most beautiful thing because all of your answers will be answered. You may not like the timing. You may not like, what's being said, how it's being presented, or whatever. But at the end of the day, like you said, if you're a believer, like Q said, if you're a believer, and like Pastor said, if you just talk and have that relationship, man, those answers, those prayers will be answered, man. And you just gotta walk by faith and just through thick and thin.
You're
Not
right.
wait, not weaver, and stay of course. And once you do, man, you'll come out on that after those April showers,
Yeah.
May flowers,
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Coach, how did that affect you as far as putting your staff together? Was that a factor in, guys you brought in and hired when you put your staff together?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
That is very important. I ask those questions during the interviews, what they believe in. I can't get too deep into that
Sure.
for
Right.
technicalities, but
Right.
I do ask. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because that's important. That's important. The words that you're putting into your kids now is your staff spreading those same words. So that's very important to me. Our chaplain meets with the coaches, once or twice a month right now. And then during the season, it'll be an every week deal. that that somebody's pouring into us and talking to us about being the type of leader that God would want us to be. So that's very important to me that you have like-minded coaches that's spreading the same gospel that you're spreading.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to have everyone aligned so you have that one message. You don't want a bunch of different messages going out. Um, since you've been doing this, were you? I mean, did you have faith? Were you a believer when you started in college or in high school? Like, when do you think that you really got into your faith and your beliefs the most?
The most, or when it all started for me, I'll just go there first.
Yeah, please.
I was baptized at 12, 13. Now, I grew up
Okay.
in the church. I grew up in a holiness church with the tamarines and the shouting and running up and down the pews.
Yeah, yeah.
As a kid, when I was 12, 13 years old, I got baptized for the first time. And that was my first, honestly, and it wasn't just the shocking of the cold water, but that was my first experience where I could truly feel God's spirit and that I was renewed. I would go on, to really start getting a relationship with God probably about my mid-teens. I never forget reading the
Wow.
book. I never forget reading the book, The Prayer of Jabez. It talks about enlarging, God's enlarging Jabez's territory. But I looked at that and actually it scared me half to death because soon after that, reading that book, I will get drafted by the Chicago Cubs coming out of
Yeah,
high
because
school.
you were a great baseball player. Yeah.
Yeah, and that scared me half to death because God really did. No, it did. And God
I
really
can
did
imagine.
enlarge my territories. But we know, true believers know, with those blessings comes the enemy with his games. And I fell for some games that,
That
that
that's what I've
detoured
heard.
me. Yeah, that detoured me from having that relationship with God. I never disbelieved in God, but I took my eyes off of him. And then 2 + 2 is, it equals 4 any day of the week. And you don't do the right things, well, good things don't happen to you. I mean, good things won't happen for you. And so I took God's blessings for granted. I truly did. And I took my eyes off of them and I let outer exterior things start to control my life and end up losing, of course, my job, with the Dallas Cowboys. And that battle of
Right. Right.
hurt, disappointment, depression, whatever, you can put on the table. I battled that for 15 years. And no, and not, like I said, not disowning God, but was mad at God too, because of, man, like how much bad can happen to me. But came to the realization that God didn't go anywhere. I was running from him. And so I got back on the horse with my relationship with God. But, I owe the 12 steps of AA my relationship with God because, I had lost my relationship with God for years. But getting sound into my recovery, all the 12 steps is having a better relationship with God. And I found them in step 3, when it talks about, giving your will over to
Yeah,
the
we will.
care, over to the care of something, outside of you. And that's when my relationship with God really took off. And, it was a lot of, what would I say, moments with him, me crying and apologizing because like I said, as a kid, I knew who God was. I felt him. I seen him, work miracles in other people's lives, along with, working miracles in my life. So my relationship with God really just, kind of took another step and a more deeper and intimate relationship with him,
Right.
where I felt him, and I understood, what my job was to continue seeking him and continue getting close to him, and I just don't ever want to lose that feeling, because I know what not having him in my life
Yeah.
the right way, what that means, and then what that brings to my life, and it don't bring the peace and serenity that I have right now.
No, you're absolutely right about the dark side, and I'm just blown away because my story is very similar to yours as well, and doing the step work was kind of what made the difference and pushed me back into having faith. So,
Wow.
and yeah, I was told basically God's always with you. If you continue to ignore him, he will send you messages to try to
Oh
get you
yeah.
on the right
Oh
path.
yeah.
And with me, he sent several, and the pastor told me, if you don't listen, the first message, the second, the messages are going to continue to get more severe until you get back on the right track.
Oh
So, and it made sense to me, and it really shaped how I got to where I am now, at least. But I'll talk some football with you. You have been at Heritage, and you came in the first thing, obviously, the culture, and that is so challenging to build nowadays, and connecting with players, the youth nowadays, it's so much different. You have found a way to do it and have success. What do you think the best way or the best means has been for you to forge these connections with your players
it's getting to know them. That's the bottom line.
on a personal level?
On a personal level, whether it's knowing, heck, something, pivotal about them, where their mother works at, or who are they closer to, their mother or their father. Is the mother and father in the household, or is it just the mom? How far do they live? Do they need a ride home? Are they struggling in their classwork? What teacher is getting on their nerve that they don't like? Did they just break up with a girlfriend? Are they having, difficulty of understanding what, hard work is and what it's going to take for them to, get that Division I scholarship? Because that's all, they all talk about.
I know.
So it's getting to know the player. It's getting to know who they are. Um, you know, you keep hearing these players are different. These players are different, and as an old school guy like myself, you still know that they may be different, but there's still only a few paths for them to take to get to their goals. So you understand that, but not only are they different, they're more they're sensitive too, and I hate to
They
say
are.
it. No,
They
no,
are.
they are. But
I
but
agree.
it's but it's the way they've been introduced to the world too.
Yeah. That's how they've
We
been
didn't.
conditioned.
Yeah, exactly. That's the perfect word for it. Because we didn't have social media for you to put something out on social media, and then
I
the
know.
whole world sees it, and then everybody don't like it, and you get some flack for that. Getting into a fight in school, and you get into that fight in first period or what have you, and by second period, everybody has the fight, everybody reposted it, everybody's made a comment on it, and now you're dealing with the emotional standpoint from your peers, and so they've grown up like this, and so the ones who take heed to the mental health aspect of it and paying attention to what really bothers them, what makes them tick, those are the ones that have most success. The ones
Right.
that get caught up into what somebody else is saying, or being subject to being ridiculed and can't handle it, those are the ones you see, having emotional distress when adversity hits them. So they are growing up differently, and they are different. But the more you get to know them, the more you get to understand, what makes them tick, because you get pretty much. I mean, I know we all had different personalities, but they all are. You got to coach them differently. You
You
really
do,
do.
yes.
Yeah, you do. And so just getting to know them, understanding what makes them tick is my main priority. And then I can, talk to them about some tough conversations if I have to.
Right, right, because you've already built that trust and rapport with them, so that makes a
Absolutely.
huge difference.
Hey, Cully, can I say something real quick?
It's your show, Anthony. You can say whatever you want.
While we having this conversation, Q, you made me think about something. When you said that word emotional distress, right?
Mm.
The code word now for that in this younger generation is crash out.
Is it?
They don't overstand that, and they won't call it that, because us as men, being, once you're considered emotional, that's a bad tag, right? So
Mhm.
that emotional distress that's what all crashing out is you being emotional and doing some dumb stuff that'll cost you either majorly or possibly even your life.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
Crash out. Wow.
yeah, so that's something this generation is really dealing with, but they don't really understand that that's mental distress. It's not something that's cool, and it's not you just being mad. It's you about to make a terrible decision off of
Yeah.
all of these emotions.
Yeah. Julius, I mean, we've talked about it in recruiting, and we've talked about it especially in the 5v5 competitions, because I mean, those, you got to have that dog in you. You got to have the memory, like I think you said, of a goldfish, because you're right back up there. You're going again. You got to bring it. How do you instill that into your kids to be able to overcome adversity, have a short memory, know that there's always a next rep?
Well,
And
honestly, Curly, for us,
Jordan too.
if you can survive Coach Ant and Coach Jordan, you'll survive. Hey, you'll survive. When it comes to
Yeah.
5-5, I mean, everything is about. And the reason I say that is this: we don't. We're not for everybody, Curly.
No, I know that.
So
That-
I give you an example. These days, they're used to getting their butt kicked, right? I'm a superstar. I'm a 5-star. I'm a 4-star. I'm a 3-star. So you got to treat me like it every day,
yeah, you
every
got to
minute.
treat. Yeah, I'm royalty.
Right?
Yes,
No, that's the norm right now. Like most trainers, they're
I
pampering.
know.
Most
I know.
coaches, they're pampering guys, right? Because they like, hey, if I don't treat him like this, he's gonna
He's
leave.
gonna go somewhere else.
You
Yeah.
know? With us, we don't care if you leave. We want you
No,
to leave.
please go.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Because you don't fit in, and that's what we preach from day one. So even to come to Trench Mob and to make it to day two, you've already battled adversity. That you can. I mean, Coach Jordan, Coach Ant. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm the more chilled. I'm almost like like that father figure, almost that embraces.
Yeah.
But Coach Ant, Coach Jordan, they like Coach Ant is a soldier. They're like a real commander. You know what I mean? Like sergeant type deal. And Coach Jordan, he kind of he plays both sides of the fence a little bit, but he's also a commander, man. So I'm able to kind of sit back and kind of groom,
Yes.
where, but like you said, Cully, you got to have a memory of a goldfish, man, because we just talked to Aiden last week from Q school, man. I mean, it got to be it bad his
Aiden
first
Archer. Yep.
times out there, but now he's able to go out to camps and go undefeated and earn scholarships because of that adversity.
So
Most
different.
kids we talk about with him, he went to California. Most kids, after that kind of performance in California, they wouldn't have came back.
Yeah.
But the fact that he did, you should see him now. In the last 3 or 4 times that I've seen him in action, whether it be at practice, at camp, at any competition, he's bound to get beat by anybody. Our best guys, are
Yeah.
having trouble with Aiden right now. And that's what it
Yeah.
does, man. It just prepares you for everything moving forward. I remember you guys.
No, Cully, go back to what Julius said. We live in an era where most kids want their butts kissed, and everything of that nature. And everybody on this phone, from Quincy to Ant, we're not on that. Like, if we want you to come in and handle business from day one and see what you get out of it. You may progress, you may decline, but it's that's all up to you. Like, we're not in that era for anything.
Exactly. Coach Carter, so what has been helpful for you? I mean, you've gotten to know your players personally. You continue to develop them, and they're becoming talents. They're becoming recruited. How are you managing that? Because the recruiting game changes day to day. So I can't even picture it.
Absolutely. Well, first is putting your guys around great people like Trench Mob too, because just like
Correct.
Julius just mentioned, my right tackle has. I mean, I can't even think of the word right now as far as just hell. Really, it's this simple, night and day. From what he was,
I remember.
yeah, from what he was before Julius started working with him, the toughness, the grit, the wisdom too that he's gaining. So it's putting your players around the good guys when you're not, being able to work with them. Like this week, it's dead week, so this is a critical
Correct.
week for you to have your kids around the right guys. And then, like you just mentioned, the recruiting process. So I have all of my coaches, add in to help, aid this recruiting process as far as contacts they may have. And then, honestly, we've been blessed. I've got a couple.
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a couple highly recruited players, and a lot of schools have come by. I've been blessed by the Dallas Cowboy blessing too of being able to be there, play at the highest level, and then guys want to see, what kind of kids that I'm going to be developing, and that's pretty cool to be in that position. And it's very, I give, I want to say thank you to those, guys who just say, hey, man, we just stopping by out of respect because we know the pedigree you come from, being coached by Coach Godfrey in high school, being coached by Coach Donnan at Georgia, being coached by Bill Parcells. Don't want to leave out my man, Dave Campo.
Yes, Coach Campo.
And Herm Edwards too. So coming from that, tutelage and learning a lot about the game of football, what it takes to groom a young man. I've been able to have some schools come by, and we just constantly call these guys, man. I know it's a tough time right now for the high school recruit, because of that transfer portal is. Man, it's I've seen it from the outside, but being in the inside,
it's a free for all.
It's a free fall, and it's a kryptonite that and hurdle that these high school kids got to get out. I mean, got to get over. But having allies like Julius, who helps in the recruiting business too, and can make those phone calls for you too.
Sure can.
Yeah, only helps. So yeah, man, it's a big juggling act, but like I like to say, I like to stay 3-4 months ahead of the curve. So my year is already pretty much planned out through November. When we getting on the bus, when we're eating for games, the whole nine. So you just gotta stay on top of it. Delegate your coaching staff to help you out. And put God in it, man, and mix that thing up and just keep grinding.
Offensively, what would you say your philosophy is and what has worked best for you? Because I always wanted to know.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of everybody in me. I've got some wing T stuff.
That's what I've seen,
Yeah, from my high school coach and Coach Buck Godfrey, I got a little bit of Coach Donnan in me. Coach Donnan liked to be up under that center a little bit, and then sometimes in the shotgun and third down. He was a more vertical guy, getting down the field. Then I got a little Sean Payton in me with a lot of shifts and motions.
Yes.
And and running some, what we call the shallow cross series and things of that nature.
Oh, love it.
But mixing up the formations and shifting a lot and motioning. I like to go fast paced sometimes. I like to,
Tempo is huge. Yes.
yeah, I like to slow it down too and huddle up too. So I call it a big mixed bag of guys who've been, very instrumental in my life. And in my football world, and I think I got a mix of all of them.
And you really keep teams off balance with everything you do, and that's the name of the game. So I really like hearing that. That's great stuff. And
if I can say something right quick, Cully, before you transition.
It's your show. You don't have to say, Cully, can I say something? It's your show. You can talk whatever you want.
I just know for the viewers, man, and some kids, that play for Coach Carter that's watching, I just need them to rewind and hear some of the names of the people.
Oh my God.
That he's played for, have been developed by, and to truly not take for granted that tutelage. So, like, if I'm a player at Heritage or I'm a parent of a player at Heritage, and we got to give flowers, man, and things these days are not taken serious. These kids don't understand who their head coach is. They just think he Coach Carter. You know what I mean? But, you got to put some respect on it, man. And kids watching, that should make you want to come to work every day for your high school and give it that much more. Because we just had Dead Week. And we talked about me and Coach Jordan, Coach Mack, Coach Kane.
Did you have the
a lot of years of football that were in that room, man, and talking to you about this game. And you got guys that take it. We got one kid, I love him to death, kid named Kelton. He got a nickname this week. We call him Roblox because we caught him playing on his phone, when Coach Jordan was talking and going over film. I'm like, man, you finna miss out on one of the best gyms that you can get being here during Dead Week when everybody else is at home chilling or on vacation. And nothing wrong with vacation, but that's your chance to get a leg up on the competition. And you over here playing on Roblox, you know what I mean? When Coach Jordan is trying to show you film and teach you inside zone and the correct steps. So, I just want people to rip the kids that play for him, man, and the parents of the kids, know who you got your kid in front of every day. And that should make you want to push yourself even more. I just wanted to give that segment.
No, you're 100% right, and they don't understand that. And I was just curious, Julius, was this the locked in week that you typically do?
Yeah. So this is our second year doing it.
Okay.
Me and Coach Jordan started doing it last year.
Correct.
Coach Mack and Coach Ant even came out the first day, man, gave to the kids, man, and Coach Kane. But it's just we lock in for a week. The coaches can't touch them. Shout out to Coach Lamar, South Gwinnett, Coach Wright. Those guys open that building up to us for a week.
Hakeem Kashama?
And do fit. He's around the corner, though. Kashama around the corner. But they just open their building for a week, man. Let us use the film room. Let us use the field. And just help kids get better, man. So we had kids come from all over, to lock in with us for really 3 hours every day.
3 hours a day, yeah.
You know what I mean? And we have another session in Kennesaw. Shout out Coach Mike Kleinfelter from the Speed School in Kennesaw.
That's awesome.
So we had a session in the morning, a session in the evening, and both were really 3-hour sessions almost, from watching film. And so we got better, man. A lot of kids, who don't even understand, the game, they understand it a lot better now.
Coach Carter, I just had a question, because you were a quarterback, do you have a different relationship with your quarterbacks now? Obviously, because you played the position, succeeded at the position at a high level. Is that somewhere you may spend a little more attention with those guys?
Absolutely. but that relationship is tough though.
Oh,
Because
I know. Yeah.
oh yeah, because I'm very demanding. I truly understand what it takes,
Yeah.
for them to make it even to the college level to play some good high school football. One of my kids is actually texting me right now as we sitting here in this
Yeah.
interview, taking screenshots. Oh my God, my kids, dude. But
Coach, you're a legend. This is a top show. You're going to be famous. Well, you already are famous, but yeah.
No, get out of here. But that relationship with me and him and all my quarterbacks is tough, man, because I understand what it takes. But I'm teaching leadership for life, though. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, I talk college ball and I talk, the NFL. But we all know it's God's will if any of these kids make it to the college level, make it to the NFL level. But I want to set the standards for your foundation
For life.
that you understand, what hard work is, what leadership is, what, bringing everything you got to the table every day. Because I know, when you go become that CEO, that lawyer, that doctor, that firefighter, that policeman, you're going to remember your high school days. And I want to be, and my coaching staff, we want to be that reason why you keep pushing through hard days. Because honestly, let's be honest with it. We're with these kids during the school year. We're with them more than they are with
More
their
than
own parents.
families. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
we are. They only go. They get home at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
Go do their
Get
homework.
them something to eat, and they're back to sleep.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I understand what it means to be in their life. I just want them to understand why I'm so hard on them. And it ain't about football, man. It's about life.
No,
That's
you
what it really is.
You take the responsibility seriously, and that's how it should be.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on the new legislation that was passed, the 5-for-5 rule. So kids are going to have 5 years of eligibility. I think they're trying to do it to obviously allow more high school kids to get signed. And they're also shortening the transfer portal, which I think is a mistake. But what are your thoughts on those two things that just got passed?
Okay. I just really, to be honest with you, understood it today. That it is 5 years no matter what. And you can literally play 5 years, right?
Correct. It starts, but it's by age, though. Either 18 or 19, and you're done from 5 years from there.
I think it's good. I think it's good. It makes the college football world a lot better.
Correct.
You see it's starting to get a lot of parity now. We actually starting to get a true, 14 to 16 teams that really have a shot at a national championship every year now. Shoot, it used to be about 4 to 6.
It was the same. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. So, the talent level is spreading out now. And so it makes for a better college football game. It gives these kids a lot more opportunities to, reach the ultimate level of being in the NFL. So I think it's good. I really do.
Julius, Jordan, I mean, your thoughts on it, the 5-for-5 and, shortening the transfer portal from 15 days to 10 days, I think is a terrible mistake. But what do you guys think?
I mean, I was just talking to Jordan about that, man. And I mean, I like it because the thing is, I've heard stuff lately about kids saying that I didn't take football serious my first couple of years. You know what I mean? Or I used my first couple of years to fill around.
Yeah.
Now you got 5-for-5.
I think it's great. Yeah.
You can't come back as a 23-year-old man, 24-year-old man and play college football anymore.
Nope.
And we just talked about a kid. I was telling Coach Jordan about one of our kids that he made a post and said his time ran out for Division I, so now he had to go D2. So I think it's just forcing you to be a lot more serious, earlier than you have been in the past years, because, I mean, I was just telling the kid, bro, like, when I was in college, I was broke. Like, I was calling my mom and dad. They're asking them for money. You know what I mean? These kids ain't got to call nobody. You know what I mean? These kids are sending money to their mom and dad. You know what I mean? Helping them out with bills. You know what I mean? So I just think there's no better time than now to really take this sport serious, because this sport can change your life financially. It can change your life mentally, spiritually, physically, by just taking it serious. And we preached that all week this week at Dead Week. We had kids that were in there at first. Film is the most boring thing in the world. I hated watching film. I ain't gonna lie. I'll say it on camera. Early in my career, before I understood what film truly did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And by the time I really learned how to do it, it was too late, because my body was already too broken up from just slamming into stuff, for the first 3 or 4 years playing. You know what I mean? So I don't mean to be long-winded, man, but I love it. It just forces kids to take this game serious at a much earlier rate.
Coach Smith, my only concern was with the transfer portal, because they shortened it to 15 days. They still got more transfers than ever, and they had the least amount of transfers that ended up getting signed. I think going to 10 days is you're still going to have an increase in transfers, but it's going to increase tampering, because there's no way in 10 days you can forge a relationship, find a school, find a scholarship, and sign with someone. I just think it's going to force people to go through third parties, and it's going to increase tampering.
I like it from a different perspective of maybe with all of those facts that you just stated, and all of those things being known, maybe these kids will stay your ass where you at.
That I agree. That's what I hope. Yes.
You know what I mean? It'll that scarcity of not knowing where you're going to be will, create a little bit more of college loyalty, school loyalty, team loyalty, and not all of this.
I agree.
Everybody doing what LeBron, did, and running and trying to run to a quick championship versus, the old school way you stood on your team, and whether you was good or bad, you worked to get better, man. And that's just the generation we grew up in, and the generation there and now is, that when they seen that happen, that made it okay to jump ship. You know what I'm saying? And not be low.
And when you catch out, and these boys these days, they going into college thinking about transferring. Bro, back in our day, bro, you ain't transfer unless you had a serious issue.
Right.
Like, if you're supposed to be playing in front of somebody, bro, and they tripping, and you a junior and he a sophomore. You know what I mean? You ain't got no chance to take his spot. So I got to slide because I got to get on the field for my last. These kids are going into school now with plans to be there for a year
and bounce.
Right.
Okay.
And I know college coaches at the Division III, Division II, and even the lower D1 levels who say the same thing. Basically, come here, we'll ball out for a year, and you can leave.
It's a recruiting tool now, Cully.
It is.
They
I know.
It's a recruiting tool.
You
only have to be here for a year.
We only bring you in for a year, and then you can go as it goes. But what that 5 for 5 and that 10-day does is it makes college coaches actually recruit now, instead of just trying to build and go into the portal and build for a quick championship. Now coaches have to recruit high school, and even with that number, it might go from 105 and may go back to 115, 120. It looks like how recruiting was 10, 12 years ago when I was in school, when you had to get both of your guys from JUCO and high school.
Yes.
And with the 10 days, it's making guys say, hey, you either going to stay here or you going to go. Like, we're now waiting, because most of these portal guys, like you said, is the least number because some of those schools ain't panning out. Look at Colorado. Look at North Carolina. And schools that touch the portal, as opposed to teams like Indiana that went for the low 3 stars and all these people, and they win a championship. So I love it. I'm with the guys. I love it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Coach Carter, just curious for this upcoming season, what are we to expect from Heritage offensively, defensively? how do you see the team? Because I mean, you play a difficult schedule.
Yeah.
I saw some of the schools that you play against. I mean, it's murderer's row. So just give me kind of a preview.
Yeah. I won't get into the predictions, but
I know you can't do that. Yeah.
No. But I do know I've got a really good football team. A really good football team. If they continue to work, they're going to surprise themselves. Because we've got the recipes for them as far as coaches. But I feel like I'm going to have a hard nosed football team up front on both sides of the ball. I think
I
we'll
like
be a
hearing
lot.
that.
Yeah, I think we'll be a lot more disciplined, and I think we'll be a lot more unselfish this year. We may have some guys that needs to go both ways for us, and give us everything that everything that we got. I mean, everything that they got for the team. So
I
I
like that.
expect a more disciplined team, a more mentally strong team that don't fold, and really can face adversity, look it in the face, and start punching the walls out of it. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a team that's gonna work their butt off, be a little bit more disciplined, and then when we face that adversity, we don't fold with that adversity. So
No, you're
that's
right.
what I'm expecting out of my football team.
All right, Julius, we're gonna throw on the films that you sent. We'll check out a couple of the talents that we have, and we'll put them on now. Nolan Nicholas, I believe, from East Forest. I never say that right. I apologize.
Yeah, man. I wanted to show Nolan Steve.
Hold on, say that again. East Forsyth.
Yeah, East Forsyth. Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't even close. Okay.
Or East Forsyth, however you say it. But Nolan, Cully, he's not the typical kid. He reminds me a lot of the kids that we recruit from, with Trench Mob. We don't recruit kids that are 3 stars and 4 stars and have a whole bunch of offers
Correct.
already. We recruit kids that, want to get better. His dad reached out to me. Well, we've been training him now for about 6 months. Probably about 4 months.
Okay.
Kind of off and on, but now in the summertime, he's came out a little bit more. He did competition with us. So he's a kid that I believe is going to be a really, really good football player this year, man. He has 2 more years left.
Yeah.
Lots of ability. Big kid, athletic, 6'3", probably about 230, 225, and can run. And I wanted to showcase him tonight, man. And I know with hard work, man, he's going to get some great opportunities to play football at the next level.
Yeah. And I saw it. I mean, he's a 28 kid, so I think that he still has time. But yeah, he's got a lot of tools.
He goes to the same school as Roman Dickerson.
Yes.
Roman Dickerson was a hell of a player for us, man. Last year's team, they won 4 national championships. We pretty much swept the national circuit. But Nolan, like Roman was, man, has a lot of tools. If he continues to work, he's definitely going to be a great player, man, for a long time.
He seems. I mean, you wouldn't think he's 6'2". I mean, he seems really long as far as like his arms. Like he gets a good punch, he gets extension, he gets off blocks.
Yeah, he's learning. I mean, he hasn't played football long. I believe he's only played for a year.
Are you serious?
Yeah, exactly, man. He's figuring it out. His dad's a basketball coach. When he played basketball, and his dad was telling me he was known for defense at basketball, so they wanted to try football. So, but now, man, Nolan is one of those kids we're going to look up. Man, that kid, I can see Nolan, getting some big time offers, man, get some G5 offers, after this season, and he's a football player, man, because he loves to work, and I've been working with him on some things. I mean, he has to be a lot more violent,
Right.
He's naturally athletic, and I just told him, man, I mean, you just have to play.
Just be physical, yeah.
Yeah, he's not really from a football rich, town.
Okay.
colleges aren't really going to East Forsyth, to get
East
football
Forsyth.
players. But
Okay.
kind of the same thing that Roman dealt with, man. So you got to play. Roman's going to Shorter University, a great university. There's going to be there as well. We got another kid from West Forsyth that's going to Shorter as well, Sean Canara. But Nolan is going to be one of those kids, man, that he's going to come with trench mob for the next year. And do some good things for us, man. And I can definitely see him being a great football player.
I like that he plays end. He does a nice job keeping contain. He's good with a long arm, and he can play inside. He's a very good 3 technique. He gets penetration, but he doesn't over penetrate. Coach Carter, just to get your thoughts on what you've seen from this young man.
I've got the same sentiments as what Coach Julius just said. Looks like he's going to be, one of them long, rangy guys, man, that finds ways to the quarterback.
Yeah.
But then also, he's a little taller. I know this personally, Coach.
I
Coach
thought so
Julius,
too.
Yeah, but Coach Julius like to work with them guys 5'10", 6 feet. Just like he was.
He's a little biased towards the shorter guys.
He know they can go prove him wrong. But what he's saying too, now we got a gifted 6'2" guy that probably is gonna stretch out a little bit more. And then if he just lock in with Coach Smith with his craziness too and that toughness he's bringing to the table, shoot, the sky's the limit, man. Now, do we have a perfect 3 dudes to be actually, really tutoring some kids, man, on the football
Absolutely.
field? Do we know or what?
We do,
man.
man.
I'm gonna tell you something crazy, man. So, you know how raw I am, Q, and y'all for sure know it. Steve, you know by now. But I told his parent, I told his dad last week. He was asking me that I think he really had a shot, to possibly, get a Division I scholarship, And I told him, yeah. And the thing is, he's a white defensive lineman. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. There's not a lot of people looking for white defensive linemen. You know what I mean? But he has to play with that edge and that strike. And I told him he should go watch Little Giants and go watch Spike. Kind of be that Spike kind of guy that's a little crazy.
What about the icebox? I want him to be the icebox.
But, it's a great kid off the field. But on the field, he has to play with an edge, like a J.J. Watt, a T.J. Watt,
Max Crosby.
You know what I mean? And show people that he's violent and, he's willing to do the little things to stand out, as a white D lineman, man. So, but I think he can do it, man. I think as long as he continues to work and grind and keep the same attitude that he has now, I can see him, definitely going big time and playing some big time ball.
Yeah. Anthony, I Coach Smith, I think that he can easily get up to 255, 260, maybe even 6'4". And when you get to that level, even if you're playing inside and you are Caucasian, you're going to get recruited if you're making plays, correct?
Absolutely, all day long. Yeah, like we all saying, he's long, rangy, and he's explosive and is playing in the backfield.
Yes, he gets very good penetration.
Yeah, his range is crazy. He can definitely walk some shit down. And that's what I love about it. He can cover a lot of ground. You don't have to be necessarily the fastest guy if you can cover a lot of ground. He's a tall, lengthy guy, and he can move. So I like him.
Just cause problems.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to try to say this name because I know I'm going to butcher it. Malik Benoit, or no?
Yeah, I think it's Malik Benoit. Malik, I may be wrong as well.
Coach Carter, I'm the best podcast host in the universe, but I am the worst at pronunciation and enunciation and reading names. Just so you know.
Hey, we can't have it all.
Thankfully, your name was Coach Carter, so I can screw that up. But yeah, I was watching this young man, and I mean, he is something
Steve,
else.
he had 24 sacks last year.
Well, yeah, when I was watching this, I first I thought it was AI, but then I realized, I mean, this is a dude right here. He's very impressive. Look at this. I mean, breakaway speed. It's just
Midtown.
Midtown. Yeah.
We gotta play them. Oh God.
Yeah. So
just run at him, coach. Don't try to read him. Run right at him.
Tackle back and block him. You got it.
He gonna be on Aiden's side too.
Jesus Christmas! Wow.
This kid Humming, man, he's just starting to pick up. I mean, I know he got Georgia State.
Yeah, he just picked up Georgia State at camp. I think he picked up a couple D2.
So he's not like a big time recruit like guys would think. He's not the biggest guy. You know what I mean?
No, I see that. Yeah, but
I told him, man. Yeah, I talked to him, man. I told him, like, look, bro, you come with us, bro, we'll blow you up, bro. Like, you know what I mean? You just need to get seen in front of the right eyes. And it's crazy.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
If they had 24 sacks, you're not really getting recruited as high anymore. You know, being a high school film, unless you're just like, you got to go to camps and stuff like that. And
yeah, you do.
To be seen, especially if you're not from a powerhouse, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. So he is not worked with you. You haven't any one-on-one sessions with him, or he hasn't worked with the Trench Mob?
No, we haven't worked with him. I mean, I've only talked to him on Instagram. You know what I mean?
He's got to.
You know, when I told him, man, like with 24 sacks, bro, people are gonna know your name. You know,
he's got to get on the train. I mean,
you gotta earn your respect on the road. You know, you'll blow up on the road. You know what I mean? So, you know, hopefully, man, he comes out with us. He's 28, right? I believe.
He is 28.
Yeah. So hopefully we can get him out there with us next year, man. And but I know if he come on the road and do what he does on film there, man, he'll blow up pretty fast. We got a kid didn't even play football last year, Steve, to have 10 plus offers. You know what I mean?
Well, that's because they come to camp. Yeah. You go on the road. Yeah. When you go on the road, I mean, that separates the men from the boys. And as I say, I can always tell the Trench Mob guys because they got that dog in them. You always know.
They got an offer. We got offered by Georgia that has never played varsity football. Never. He plays the right tackle for Westlake. And Big Nassau. He's never played varsity football. Never.
Oh my God.
At all. And he got offered by Georgia last week. From camp. I went to camp and went undefeated and got offered by Georgia. That didn't even play for his high school yet.
What grade is he in?
He's 28. 28.
Jesus, wow. That's just incredible. I mean, Coach Carter, are you seeing that as well, where colleges and universities are offering kids a little bit younger than usual? And, from what I've seen, by kids' senior years, it's very tough to get recruited or find a spot unless somebody falls off or goes somewhere else. Usually by your senior year, most guys are set. Is that kind of how things are now?
Well, it's a mixed bag, to be honest with you, because I've seen a lot of offers out there that I do understand that, some of these coaches are getting college coaches to do them favors. You know what I mean? So, I'm just going to be honest with you.
You're right.
But see, I know the conversations that Julius has with damn near every coach in the country, and I was going to tell you, let's stay right there because of this topic we're talking about. Because these kids are getting on campus with Trench Mob, and these schools are actually seeing them go to work face to face. Right there live. And the work and I met Julius about 4 or 5 years ago now, Jules? Yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago. And, before I really got into high school football, I was like, wait a minute, man, this man taking these kids all around the country.
He does it. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy. And not getting the money. He should
We're
be
gonna
getting
get him money.
that's another subject for another day because I know
We're gonna get him. We're gonna get him the money. I promise him.
Oh, good God! But we'll talk about that later. But see that just tells you the type person he is, though.
Yeah.
Because he don't really care like that. He
No,
cares
he
about
doesn't.
getting these kids in school and the looks you get and the conversations that are had. Those are the real offers to answer your question. You know what I mean? But a coach not really recruiting you these days because coaches really want to see you now. You know, especially the high school kid. They really want to see you. Just like I called you, this happened about 2-3 weeks ago. Kennesaw State offered my guy Aiden, and I called him. I said, so me and Jerry, man, we cool. But I said, Jude, that smelled like your blood out there today. Yeah. Oh yeah.
He did.
But,
I know.
But he's got eyes just like the Georgia coaches. Everybody's listening because they know what he produces. They
Absolutely.
know what Jordan produces. They know what the adversity these kids go through and the training and the film work and the whole nine. So I've got a couple of my guys. I hope they listening. I've been telling y'all to get with my guy because you're getting it all. You basically getting a recruiting coach outside of your school, and they know how hard I'm working for them too. But it helps to see, for these college coaches to see, their kids that they really want and got some interest in. And, the proof is in the pudding, what Trench Mob is putting out.
No, for sure. I mean, Trench Mob, they do the most with the least. I didn't know until, I looked around and I saw plenty of these other 5v5 organizations with, sponsors, branding, and they get money and, the kids get money, travel paid for, hotels. Julius doesn't get any of that. And he still manages to organize very, very good trips. They're highly successful. They see multiple universities. And
God
then they
coming with it, though. God coming with it. He see it.
No, listen.
Everybody ain't authentic. Everybody ain't authentic with it. Like
I hear you.
He coming. Oh, he's coming.
I hear you. We talked about it because this platform, Julius has built up this platform. It is probably the top recruiting show for linemen in the country. And, we've been featured on NCSA and Bleacher Report. And I told him, I said, it's not me. I mean, you guys built this show. I mean, you, Coach Jordan, Coach Smith, Mike, when he comes out, I mean, you guys built this. And there's a reason we have Twitter DMs full of kids who want to be featured on here because they know that it's successful. And then joining Trench Mob, in my opinion, that's a no-brainer. And, Julius and Jordan have both said, we have never turned a kid down because of money. We work it out. We figure a situation out so they can be part of the Trench Mob and they can pay their way. We work it out. We'll never turn a kid away.
I know that feeling very well. That's why I connected with him also too, man.
Yeah. It's admirable.
You can't get a better group of guys, man, that authentically care about these young men, man. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't.
And Julius and Jordan and everyone in the group, they do what's in the best interest of these kids.
Yeah.
And Julius told me about, the trainers that like to post videos. I didn't really know much about it. And then I looked and I started seeing what the trainers post on, the 5-star kids that they brag about or the kids that they sent to all these big schools. And, they don't have any idea what it takes to really develop an offensive or defensive lineman. They'll take the best kid, they run them around and make it look good on film like they're doing something, and they like showing it off. And then that gives them that they won't take anything else but the top star kids. And that's why I have so much respect.
and then we got to fix them once they get back in
And you do, right?
in the
Exactly.
spring ball. Then we got to fix them.
Exactly. That's it. But Julius,
and
I
the
mean,
relationship, and this is my last thing saying it.
no,
Last thing saying on this topic, the relationship is so cool because I can have a conversation with Julius and tell him exactly what I need my guys to work on,
Yep.
and within my offense. You know what I mean? Hey, we're gonna be doing a lot of this. I don't want to give everything away, but can you help them with this? Can you help them with that? Because this is the kind of schemes we're gonna be running. So that's the blessings of it too. I'm like that as a quarterback coach when I was really out there. I want to hear from the coach. What are your steps? What are you doing? And
The
so we
teaching
can have
progression.
that relationship. And so you get that with Trench Mob too, where, of course, they got their own, set things that they work on. But if you do things a little differently, or, you want to talk about maybe getting some extra work on that,
Yeah.
you can do that. And so that's what makes me feel so comfortable about sending all my kids too.
Yeah. And, Julius and Jordan, I always said this. I think it's crazy for parents. Like, you should 100% send your kid to Trench Mob. And it's an investment, because if you put the time in, you put the effort in, it is going to pay off. I mean, you guys have sent the highest percentage of your players to Division I schools. And then not even that, you've sent the highest percentage of kids to play college football. So for any parent out there to not go with Trench Mob, it's ludicrous to me, because look at the staff you're being coached by. Look at the staff alone. You're going to be coached by the best, and then you're going to go on the road and you're going to compete against the best, and then you're going to get better. Right? Julius, am I wrong?
See, I was just talking to Jordan, and I'm not a bragging person by no means.
No, I do all the bragging. That's okay.
No, neither is Jordan. But see, we probably got 17 kids that are from the class of 2027 that are going to go D1.
Absolutely.
That were directly tied to our program. They're not kids that came out at one time and we took a picture with them and said, "Hey, this is our guy." And we just met him 15 minutes ago, and then we put a tag name on him and say, "This is our guy."
Yeah, he's our boy.
I'm talking about kids, Steve, that came to us with 0 to 5 offers. A lot of these offers weren't even big time offers. And now they're going to big time.
Oh, sorry.
Nobody knew it, a year ago.
Right.
Nobody.
No.
0 offers, and there's not many people that can say that, because, I was, talking with a gentleman, maybe a year ago. And he was just talking about all the kids you trained, and I was like, "Hey man, show me the kids you trained that you met them before they had any offers and now they blew up. Like, show me the little Johnnies you met that had 2 left feet, that barely knew how to get in the stands, and now he has 20 offers. It's not many guys that can do that. You know what I mean? So we're gonna always stay true, man. As long as, I'm living, man, and I'm a part of this, and I know Coach Jordan the same and Coach Hank the same, man. Like, we're gonna always look for those diamonds in the rough, the guys that want to work, the guys that may not be the correct size, the super athlete, but the guy who wants to work, that has that chip on his shoulder, man, and we're gonna continue to build. And there's no 5v5 organization in the country, that can mess with what we do organically. I mean, you can get the money, you can go out and buy all the kids you want to buy, but the mob is the mob, and we got the respect that we have for a reason,
Yeah. No, it's definitely worked for, and it's definitely earned. Coach Smith, your feelings on that? I mean, kind of the same, just the way you do things, the way you've built kids. You truly develop them and build them from the ground up. And that's what I think helps Trench Mob stand apart from any other 5v5 organization.
Yeah, like he was saying earlier, man, that's the beautiful thing about all of us being all had played at the top levels,
not me, but
high school and college and then, on to the pros. We just all know what it takes to to get there, and the
Yeah.
standard, you know.
What's expected of you. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. And we don't hold no kid, whether it's the last kid on the team to the best kid on the team. You know what I'm saying? We hold everybody to that same standard. It's just about, that hard work is a universal language, and that's a
It
bar
is.
that's set for success is it's a universal bar. So,
Yeah.
that hard work is gonna be dedication, is gonna be, persistency, consistency, fighting through failure, all that good stuff. So, just like you said, just keep breeding them, and it like he said, even though they're different and they are more sensitive and all that, there's still no way around the blueprint of what it
The
is to
work.
be successful. Right.
There it is.
Exactly.
There it
Exactly.
is.
Exactly. And Coach Carter, everything that you've said, thank you so much. And I have enjoyed watching your film and what you guys do. I'm very excited for you this season. I'm happy that, you're doing so much with recruiting, and you've been working with Julius. We loved having Aiden on, and when he got his offer from Kennesaw State, because I know the journey that the kid went through. I mean, the kid took a beating, and he never gave up. He just kept working. And I love that. That's like what you said. That's the mentality the trench mob builds in you. I mean, you're never going to give up. They keep working. So he's just an example of what can happen if you listen, you do the right things. But again, Coach Carter, it's been an honor having you on. Thank you for sharing the faith and spiritual information with me, because that was it just kind of I kind of just felt something when you were sharing your story, because it's similar to my story. So it kind of makes me feel like maybe I am going in the right direction. So I really, really appreciate it. And I wish you guys the best. Thank you for coming on. We love having you.
And as you know, you hear so many times, it almost seems like it's cliches, but it's really not. It truly is a day at a time.
It is, yeah.
Yep. And let's keep charging this road. It's truly a day at a time.
And if you need a assistant offensive line, maybe a tight end coach, just let me know. I'll come down there, and I work for, maybe Chipotle, and that'll be it. I'll be good. You give me some Chipotle for lunch and dinner. That's all. That's all I'll take. So.
Okay. Well, as long as you tell Julius in the joining my staff too. It could be a package. You work on him joining my staff too. And you hear me? Yeah.
Hey, I know.
Guys, and I got you a job.
I got you. Thank you, Coach. Julius, great show as always. Phenomenal people. I mean, viewership. You got a lot of people watching. Great job promoting it. I know Mike and certain guys do that, but it definitely was a huge help on Instagram. But Coach Smith, as always, wide sage Gandalf. So Utica, I'm an hour north in Old Forge. I know you went to Syracuse. There's no way you ever came to Utica, so that's why you wouldn't know Old Forge. But that's where I'm at. And Coach Carter was right. He's like, yeah, there's some money up there. He's like, yeah, there's a little bit, yeah. But thank you guys. And Coach Carter, invitation stands. You want to fly up here and come to the lake? You're more than welcome to.
Heck yeah, as long as I can wear my Cowboys jersey in peace.
Absolutely, Coach. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. But great show, guys. Great guys that we showed. I liked everyone. And just remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.